Friday's maths videos, and today we're continuing to look at indices. I'm doing some revision questions which I've set for my Form 6 class, and I'm just going to show you them here. They're from texts and tests, so I'll just show you. We're going to do questions 1 to 7. There's questions 1 to 5, and there's questions 1 to 7, so or 5 to 7. So just so you have an idea, you can always look back through the video to see the questions as I talk about how I'm doing them. Okay, so let's start with question 1. There's been a request that I work on question 2, but I'm just going to start with question 1 anyway, and hopefully as we do these they'll become clearer. Now don't forget, any questions that you have or come across that have just numbers, you can use your calculator for, unless they tell you that you can't use your calculator, if that makes sense. So if you come across questions where it says find the value of, or what is this, or whatever, and you can use your calculator because it doesn't have any letters, it just has numbers, then you can just use your calculator. Okay, anyway, here we go. So this is question Yoda, I'm sorry, is just fallen asleep on the job. Let's put him over there. Question 1, a to the power of 3 by a to the power of 4. Well, when I do that, remember I add the powers. 3 plus 4 is 7, so that's a to the power of 7. Part 2, a by a to the power of 5. Well, that's a 1 really, so it's 1 plus 5 is 6. Part 3, a by a squared will be a to the power of 4. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Part 4, 2x squared by 3x will be 2 by 3 is 6. X squared by x is x cubed. Question part 5, a cubed by 3a squared. A cubed by 3a squared will be, that's 1a cubed by 3a squared, so 3a to the power of 5. Part 6, x to the power of 5 over x squared will be x to the power of 5 minus 2, which is x cubed. Part 7 will be a to the power of 4 over a will be a to the power of 4 minus 1, so a cubed. So remember, these are just using all the rules that we've had before, that we talked about before and have worked through already. Now here we have two whole numbers, so that's just going to be 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then we have a to the power of 6 over a squared will be a to the power of 6 minus 2, which is 4. Part 9, a squared cubed. Remember, that means a squared by a squared by a squared, which is a to the power of 6, or we can just multiply 2 by 3 and get 6. Part 10, a to the power of 4 over a is going to be a to the power of 4 minus 1, which is 3a cubed. Oh, I did that one. Sorry, that's not part 10. Part 10 was, in fact, a to the power of 0, and anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay? Question 2. Question 2, write each of the following in the form a to the power of n, where a and n are an element of n. So to the power in the form a to the power of n, where a and n, so this basically means write as a power, and this basically means a and n will be positive whole numbers because they'll be natural numbers. So it's basically saying write whatever number we give you as a number to a power. It'll become really obvious when I've done the first one. So 25, well, 25 is 5 to the power of something, and as you know, it's 5 to the power of 2, so that's it. So write as a power 5 to the power of something, a and n. 5 is a natural number, 2 is a natural number. That's what that's all on about. So 25 is 5 squared. Part 2, 64, well, we could do 8 squared. You could do 4 cubed, or you could do 2 to the power of 4. So that's, sorry, not 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 6. So, I mean, we generally go for the easy one. So 64 is 8 squared, but just to be aware there are other ones. Part 3, 27 is harder. If you think about it, hopefully you know that 27 is 3 by 9, and 3 is fine. 9 is 3 squared, isn't it? So actually 27 is 3 cubed. So the answer would be 3 cubed. You can just mess about in your calculator either with different numbers, and you'll get used to it as you go on. 32. Well, you know that 4 squared is 16. 4 cubed is not 32. So let's work back. It's likely to be 2. So again, messing about on your calculator, you could find out that it's 2 to the power of 5. Part 5, 125. That 5 at the end makes me think it's going to be 5 to the power of something, and indeed it is. It's 5 by 5 by 5, which is 5 cubed. And finally, part 6, 81. It's 9 squared, or maybe you'll have got it to be 3 to the power of 4. Either of those is good. Okay, so hopefully you'll see this is really just calculator, messing about in your calculator if you need to, or as you get used to it, you'll hopefully come to recognize which numbers are the base. These are called base numbers. Base number, that's a base number, a base number, a base number. That number each time is the base number. Okay? Okay, question 3. What does the question mark stand for? In other words, work out the question. So 3 to the power of 5 by 3 to the minus 2 is 3 to the power of 3. 5 plus minus 2 is 3. Part B, that's A. 3 cubed over 3 to the power of 5 is equal to 3 to the power of 3 minus 5, which is 3 to the power of minus 2, or you might have 1 over 3 to the power of 2. Because remember, that minus turns it upside down. So if you want to write it with a plus power, in this case, it would be 1 over it. If you're allowed to write it with a minus power, and they haven't said you can't, it can be 3 to the power of minus 2. Part C, 2 to the power of 3 to the power of minus 2 is 2 to the power of 3 times minus 2, which is minus 6. D, 6 to the power of minus 1 by 6 to the power of minus 2 is minus 1 plus minus 2 is minus 3. 6 to the power of minus 3. E, 7 squared over 7 squared. Well, that's just the same thing. Something divided by itself is always going to be 1. Or you can say 7 squared over 7 squared is 7 to the power of 2 minus 2, which is 0, which is 1. F, 2 to the power of minus 5 by 2 to the power of 3 is 2 to the power of minus 5 plus 3, which is 2 to the power of minus 2. Or 1 over 2 to the power of 2, whichever you like. G, 3 to the power of minus 1 to the power of minus 2. These multiply because it's a power to a power, so 3 to the power of plus 2. And part H, 5 to the power of 3 over 5 to the power of minus 2, which is 5 to the power of 3 minus minus 2, which would be 5 to the power of 5. Now, maybe you have to work these out on your calculator, because actually I didn't check. Is it supposed to be a power, or is it supposed to be a whole number? So let's just double check how you do that. 3 to the power of 3, this one here, would be 3xy3 equals 27. Okay, this would be 1/9. This would be 1 over 64, and so on. You can do them on your calculator. Okay, I'm going to post this video for questions 1 to 3, and then I'm going to come back and do the other questions. Okay.